Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're talking about something that affects all of us, the way we grow our food. But not just any farming, we're diving into sustainable agriculture. What is it? Why does it matter? And how can it help us feed the world without destroying the planet? Stick around, because we're going to explore all of that and more in this video. Let's start with a fundamental question: what exactly is sustainable agriculture? At its core, sustainable agriculture is about producing food, fiber, and fuel in a way that preserves the health of the environment, supports economic viability for farmers, and uplifts social equity. It's a holistic approach that recognizes the interconnectedness of soil, water, plants, animals, and people. This concept isn't new, but it's more urgent than ever. The modern industrial food system has been efficient in feeding billions, but it's come with environmental and social costs. Over 24 billion tons of fertile soil are lost every year due to unsustainable land management. At the same time, farming is responsible for roughly 30% of global greenhouse gas emissions when you factor in deforestation, livestock, fertilizers, and energy use. Sustainable agriculture flips this model. Rather than extract and exhaust, it operates on a regenerative cycle. What you take out, you put back in, ideally, with a net gain for ecosystems and communities. It doesn't favor one specific method, it's a set of principles. These include enhancing soil health, conserving water, promoting biodiversity, reducing dependency on synthetic inputs, supporting local economies, ensuring fair labor practices. It's also adaptable. What sustainable agriculture looks like in a rice paddy in Vietnam might differ from a vineyard in California or a maize field in Kenya. But the goals remain the same: long-term resilience, equity, and environmental health. Scientific insight: the three pillars of sustainability according to the FAO, Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations. Sustainable agriculture must meet three core criteria. Environmentally sound: it conserves natural resources, reduces emissions, and protects biodiversity. Economically viable: it must provide farmers with a living wage and communities with food security. Socially responsible: it must respect workers' rights, promote equity, and engage local cultures. These are sometimes referred to as the three pillars or the triple bottom line: people, planet, and profit. Global momentum. In 2015, the United Nations included sustainable agriculture in its Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, specifically Goal 2, Zero Hunger. This goal aims not just to end hunger, but to achieve food security, improve nutrition, and promote sustainable agriculture by 2030. Governments, NGOs, researchers, and consumers are all aligning to push this movement forward. While modern agriculture has played a crucial role in feeding a growing global population, it has also created unintended consequences that threaten the very systems we rely on. Let's take a closer look at the problems associated with traditional, industrial farming. For starters, traditional agriculture often prioritizes short-term yields over long-term sustainability. This system relies heavily on synthetic fertilizers and chemical pesticides, which may boost crop production initially, but over time, they degrade soil structure, kill beneficial organisms, and contaminate waterways. Another issue is monocropping, planting large expanses of a single crop season after season. This approach reduces biodiversity and makes crops more vulnerable to pests and disease, leading to even more chemical use. It also drains the same nutrients from the soil, causing fertility loss and making land less productive over time. Then there's water overuse. Crops like cotton, sugarcane, and rice are incredibly water-intensive. In many areas, groundwater is being extracted faster than it can be replenished, leading to falling water tables and drought vulnerability. The over-application of irrigation can also lead to waterlogging, salinization, and loss of arable land. Climate change is both the cause and effect of this system. Agriculture contributes to greenhouse gas emissions, through fertilizer production, soil disturbance, livestock methane, and deforestation for new farmland. And yet, this same system is highly vulnerable to changing climate patterns. More pests, unpredictable rainfall, and extreme weather events can devastate harvests. The industrial model may have increased food availability, but at a cost: degraded soil, depleted water, increased emissions, and reduced farm resilience. If we continue on this path, we risk undermining our food system's very foundation. That's why the transition to sustainable agriculture isn't just an option, it's a necessity. If there's one place where sustainable agriculture truly begins, it's beneath our feet, in the soil. Soil isn't just a medium to hold up plants. It's a living, breathing ecosystem, teeming with billions of microorganisms in every handful. In fact, healthy soil is one of the most complex ecosystems on Earth, and the foundation of all life on land. Yet, despite its importance, soil is one of the most abused and overlooked parts of our agricultural system. Let's start with what makes soil healthy. A healthy soil has good structure, meaning it has a balance of sand, silt, and clay with enough organic matter to bind particles into aggregates. These aggregates create space for air, water, and roots to move freely. Healthy soil also contains an abundance of organic matter, decomposed plant and animal material, that acts like a sponge, holding nutrients and moisture. But most importantly, soil is alive. It's filled with bacteria, fungi, protozoa, earthworms, beetles, and countless other organisms that work together to cycle nutrients, decompose organic matter, and even protect plants from disease. When soil is disturbed too frequently, through tilling, overgrazing, or excessive chemical use, this living community breaks down. Structure collapses, erosion accelerates, and fertility drops. This leads to what scientists call soil degradation, a global crisis affecting over 30% of the world's arable land. Techniques that regenerate soil. Crop rotation is one powerful method. By rotating different types of crops, like legumes, cereals, and vegetables, farmers can break pest and disease cycles and naturally replenish nutrients. For example, legumes such as beans or clover can fix atmospheric nitrogen into the soil, reducing the need for synthetic fertilizers. Cover cropping involves planting certain crops, like rye, buckwheat, or hairy vetch, not for harvest, but to cover the soil during off-seasons. These crops prevent erosion, suppress weeds, increase biodiversity, and add organic matter when incorporated back into the soil. Reduced or no-till farming helps maintain soil structure and microbial life. Instead of plowing, which disrupts fungal networks and exposes soil to erosion, no-till farmers plant directly into crop residue, preserving soil integrity and moisture. Composting and manure application add organic material and beneficial microbes. Unlike synthetic fertilizers that feed only the plant, compost feeds the soil, allowing the ecosystem to support the crop naturally. Mulching, spreading organic material like straw, leaves, or even grass clippings over the soil, protects it from erosion, keeps it cool, and gradually adds nutrients as it breaks down. Africa emoji, real-world case study, Zimbabwe's soil rebirth. In the 1990s, farmers in Zimbabwe faced extreme drought and poor yields due to degraded soil. With support from NGOs, many adopted a technique called conservation agriculture, focused on minimal soil disturbance, permanent soil cover, and crop rotation. The results? Increased yields, improved moisture retention, and greater food security. What began as a survival tactic has become a national soil revival movement, a new approach to fertility. In sustainable agriculture, we rethink what fertility really means. Instead of feeding the plant directly with synthetic nitrogen, potassium, and phosphorus, the focus shifts to feeding the soil. When the soil is nourished, the soil feeds the plant. And it's more than nutrients. Mycorrhizal fungi, for example, form symbiotic relationships with plant roots, helping them absorb water and nutrients in exchange for sugars. These invisible partnerships are vital for plant health and resilience, but they're often destroyed by heavy tilling and fungicides. By respecting soil biology, sustainable agriculture works in harmony with nature's systems. In short, soil is not dirt, it's life. It holds the key to healthy crops, clean water, carbon storage, and climate resilience. That's why farmers across the world, from organic growers in California to millet farmers in India, are turning their focus downward, restoring soil health to grow food sustainably. Without healthy soil, there is no sustainable agriculture. Water is life, and in agriculture, it's one of the most precious and limited resources. Did you know that around 70% of all freshwater withdrawals globally are used for agriculture? Yet in many parts of the world, water is becoming increasingly scarce due to climate change, overuse, and mismanagement. That's why water conservation is a central pillar of sustainable agriculture. It's not just about saving water, it's about using it wisely, efficiently, and regeneratively. Let's break this down. Droplet emoji, the problem with traditional irrigation. In conventional farming systems, flood irrigation is still common, especially in Asia and Africa. While it's simple and inexpensive, it's also extremely inefficient. Much of the water evaporates or runs off before it even reaches the roots. Over time, excessive watering can cause waterlogging, salinization, and erosion. And when combined with chemical fertilizers, it can lead to nutrient leaching and contamination of rivers and groundwater, threatening both ecosystems and human health. Worse, in some regions, aquifers, underground layers of water-bearing rock, are being pumped faster than they can recharge. The Indus Basin in Pakistan, the Central Valley in California, and the North China Plain are all facing water stress due to over-irrigation. So how can sustainable efficient irrigation technologies? Let's start with drip irrigation, a game changer for water efficiency. It delivers water directly to the base of the plant through a system of tubing and emitters, minimizing evaporation and runoff. It's incredibly precise and can reduce water usage by up to 50% compared to traditional methods. Another method is sprinkler irrigation, which is more efficient than flooding but less so than drip. Some systems now use automated timing and pressure sensors to avoid overwatering. More advanced setups integrate soil moisture sensors and weather prediction models to irrigate only when necessary. For instance, if rainfall is predicted, the system can delay watering. This level of precision conserves water and saves energy. Sun behind rain cloud emoji, rainwater harvesting. Sustainable farms often incorporate rainwater harvesting systems, collecting runoff from rooftops or specially designed catchments. This water is stored in tanks or ponds and used during dry spells. Contour bunds, raised earth embankments along the natural contour of the land, are used in places like India and sub-Saharan Africa to slow runoff and allow rainwater to seep into the ground, recharging groundwater levels. Herb emoji, farming practices that conserve water. Water conservation isn't just about irrigation systems, it's about how you manage the land. Mulching with straw, leaves, or organic material helps reduce surface evaporation. Cover crops shield the soil and improve its water-holding capacity. Minimum tillage preserves soil structure, helping retain moisture. Agroforestry, integrating trees into farming systems, reduces wind evaporation and cools the microclimate. These practices create a soil sponge, healthy, carbon-rich soil that can absorb and hold water like a reservoir. Scientific insight, water use efficiency, WUE. Water use efficiency is a measure of how much crop a farm produces per unit of water used. Sustainable farms aim to maximize WUE, getting more yield with less water. According to FAO research, simple changes, like switching to drip irrigation, rotating crops, and adding organic matter, can double water productivity in some systems. Another innovation is partial root zone drying, PRD, watering only one side of a plant's root system at a time. This method triggers stress signals that encourage the plant to conserve water without significantly reducing yield. Real-world case study, Israel's water-smart farming. Israel is a global leader in water-efficient agriculture. With limited rainfall and few freshwater sources, they've pioneered technologies like subsurface drip irrigation, recycled wastewater use, and precision fertigation, applying fertilizer through irrigation systems. Today, over 85% of Israel's wastewater is reused for agriculture, the highest rate in the world. Their approach has allowed them to turn desert regions into productive farmland while using less water than many water-rich nations. Integrated systems, aquaponics and hydroponics. In controlled environment agriculture, like hydroponics and aquaponics, water use is drastically reduced. Hydroponics grows plants in a water nutrient solution, recycling the liquid continuously. Aquaponics adds fish to the equation. Fish waste provides nutrients for plants, and the plants help purify the water for the fish. These closed-loop systems can use up to 90% less water than conventional farming and are ideal for urban environments or water-scarce areas. In summary, water is not unlimited. Every drop we save helps secure our food systems and protect ecosystems. Sustainable agriculture addresses water scarcity not with sacrifice, but with innovation, stewardship, and a deep respect for nature's cycles. Efficient use of water isn't just smart, it's essential for the future of farming. Imagine walking through a farm that doesn't just grow one crop in endless rows, but one that buzzes with life, bees pollinating flowers, birds hunting insects, and plants of all shapes and sizes growing side by side. That's not just beautiful, it's smart farming. Because in sustainable agriculture, biodiversity isn't a luxury. It's a necessity. Let's talk about what biodiversity actually means. In agriculture, biodiversity refers to the variety of living organisms, from soil microbes and beneficial insects to crops, trees, animals, and even birds, that exist within a farming system. It's not just about growing different crops. It's about encouraging a rich, balanced ecosystem that supports long-term resilience and productivity. So why does biodiversity matter? Ear of rice emoji. Biodiversity makes farming resilient. Monoculture farming, growing only one type of crop, may seem efficient, but it comes with serious risks. If a pest or disease strikes, it can wipe out the entire crop. But in a biodiverse system, pests have a harder time finding their host plants, and natural predators like birds or ladybugs can keep their populations in check. This is called natural pest regulation, and it's one of the most powerful benefits of biodiversity. Biodiverse farms are also more resilient to climate shocks like drought, floods, or temperature extremes. Different species respond differently to stress. So when one fails, others can still thrive, ensuring a steady yield. Ecosystem services, nature's free labor. Biodiversity provides what scientists call ecosystem services, the essential benefits that nature offers to farming at no cost. Let's look at a few of these. Pollination, bees, butterflies, beetles, and even bats play a critical role in fertilizing crops. According to the FAO, over 75% of global food crops depend at least partially on pollinators. Without them, yields would plummet, especially for fruits, vegetables, nuts, and oilseeds. Pest control, predatory insects, birds, and spiders naturally regulate pest populations. For example, ladybugs eat aphids, and wasps parasitize caterpillars. Encouraging these allies reduces the need for chemical pesticides. Soil fertility, earthworms, fungi, and bacteria break down organic matter, cycle nutrients, and improve soil structure. Mycorrhizal fungi extend plant roots and increase access to water and minerals. Water regulation, biodiverse vegetation helps reduce runoff, improve infiltration, and stabilize water cycles, especially in hilly or flood-prone areas. Carbon sequestration, Diverse plant systems store more carbon in both vegetation and soil, helping mitigate climate change. Africa emoji, real-world case study, push-pull farming in East Africa. In Kenya and neighboring countries, farmers are using an innovative biodiversity-based method called push-pull technology to control pests in maize fields. They plant Desmodium, a legume, between maize rows, which repels stem borers, the push. Around the edges, they plant Napier grass, which attracts the pests, the pull. Desmodium also fixes nitrogen, improving soil fertility, while Napier grass provides livestock fodder. This system has been shown to increase maize yields by 300% while reducing pesticide use and supporting biodiversity. Agroforestry, trees as biodiversity champions. Agroforestry integrates trees into crop or livestock systems. Trees provide habitat for beneficial species, improve soil, stabilize microclimates, and offer additional income through fruits, nuts, or timber. In the Sahel region of Africa, the farmer-managed natural regeneration (FMNR) movement has restored millions of trees on degraded farmland. These trees help restore biodiversity, improve crop yields, and boost farmer incomes, all without planting a single seed. Test tube emoji, scientific insight, genetic diversity in crops. Crop diversity isn't just about different species, it's about genetic variation within a species. Modern agriculture often relies on just a few high-yielding varieties. This reduces genetic resilience, making food systems vulnerable to new pests, diseases, or climate stress. By preserving heirloom varieties and landraces, older, locally adapted strains, farmers maintain a genetic toolkit that can help future-proof agriculture. Organizations like the Svalbard Global Seed Vault are storing these seeds to protect against biodiversity loss. Honeybee emoji, creating biodiversity hotspots on the farm. Sustainable farms often create habitat islands to attract and support biodiversity. Hedgerows of native shrubs and trees act as wildlife corridors. Flower strips attract pollinators and predatory insects. Ponds and wetlands provide water and habitat for amphibians and birds. Rotational grazing mimics natural movement patterns, encouraging plant regrowth and soil health. Every layer of life contributes to a stronger, healthier system. In conclusion, biodiversity isn't just nice to have. It's an engine of sustainability, quietly performing vital tasks that keep farms productive and ecosystems healthy. By encouraging biodiversity, farmers gain allies in the soil, in the air, and in the field, saving money, reducing inputs, and making their land more resilient. In a world of growing uncertainty, nature's the role of technology in sustainable agriculture. When we think about sustainability, we often picture traditional farming, hands in the soil, natural cycles, and simple tools. But here's the truth, the future of sustainable agriculture isn't just organic, it's also digital, data-driven, and tech-powered. In this scene, we explore how technology is transforming farming, helping us grow more food with fewer resources while minimizing environmental harm. It's not about replacing farmers, it's about empowering them. Let's dig into the tools that are reshaping the fields. Precision agriculture, smarter, not harder. Precision agriculture is all about using technology to manage crops and livestock more accurately and efficiently. It allows farmers to apply the right amount of inputs, like water, fertilizer, or pesticides, at the right time and place. This is made possible through GPS-guided machinery. Tractors equipped with GPS can plant, fertilize, and harvest with pinpoint accuracy, reducing overlap and saving fuel, seed, and time. Drones and satellites, these provide aerial views of fields, helping detect plant stress, pest outbreaks, or nutrient deficiencies. With multispectral imaging, they can even see things the human eye cannot, like chlorophyll activity or water stress. Soil and crop sensors, these tools measure soil moisture, pH, salinity, and temperature in real time. Farmers can monitor conditions without even stepping into the field. For example, a farmer using soil moisture sensors and drip irrigation can cut water use by 30 to 50%, while maintaining or even improving yield. Data and artificial intelligence, AI, farming with foresight. Today's farms generate a massive amount of data, from weather forecasts and crop health to market prices and labor availability. AI helps farmers make sense of this data, offering actionable insights and predictions. AI algorithms can predict disease outbreaks before they happen by analyzing weather, satellite imagery, and field data. Machine learning models help forecast yields, optimize planting schedules, and suggest best crop rotations. For instance, companies like IBM's The Weather Company and Microsoft AI for Earth are developing tools that blend local climate data with machine learning to guide farmers in climate-smart decision-making. Automation and robotics, the rise of the agri-bots. Labor shortages are a growing issue in agriculture. Robots are stepping in, not to replace human labor entirely, but to handle repetitive, high-precision tasks. Autonomous tractors can operate 24/7 with minimal supervision. Weeding robots use AI to distinguish between crops and weeds, reducing herbicide use. Harvesting robots are being tested for crops like strawberries, tomatoes, and apples, where timing and delicacy matter. In Japan, for example, rice farms are using robotic planters and harvesters, boosting efficiency while reducing labor dependency. Vertical farming and controlled environments. Technology is also changing how and where we grow food. In urban centers and areas with limited land, controlled environment agriculture, CEA, allows crops to grow indoors with artificial lighting, climate control, and hydroponic systems. Vertical farms stack crops in layers, often inside warehouses or shipping containers. These systems use up to 95% less water, require no soil, and can produce food year-round. Companies like AeroFarms and Plenty are pioneering this space, producing leafy greens in the middle of cities with virtually zero pesticide use. Renewable energy, powering sustainable farms. Sustainable agriculture isn't just about what we grow, it's also about how we power it. Farms are increasingly turning to solar panels, wind turbines, and bioenergy to run irrigation systems, greenhouses, and processing equipment. In sub-Saharan Africa, solar-powered irrigation is helping smallholder farmers access water without relying on expensive, polluting diesel pumps, cutting costs while preserving the planet. Test tube emoji, biotech and CRISPR, editing for resilience. Biotechnology is also playing a role, particularly in developing crops that are drought-tolerant, pest-resistant, or more nutritious. For example, Bt cotton and Bt corn reduce the need for chemical pesticides by producing their own pest resistance. Golden rice is biofortified with vitamin A to combat malnutrition. Even more advanced is CRISPR gene editing, which allows scientists to tweak plant genes with incredible precision, without introducing foreign DNA. This could lead to faster development of climate-resilient crops without the controversies of traditional GMOs. Robot emoji, tech with a human touch. While all this sounds futuristic, sustainable tech must stay accessible and farmer-friendly. It needs to be affordable for smallholders, scalable across diverse regions, supported by training and infrastructure. Technology alone isn't the solution, but when paired with farmer knowledge, community support, and ecological awareness, it becomes a powerful tool for sustainability. In summary, technology isn't replacing traditional knowledge, it's enhancing it. From AI to robotics, precision irrigation to vertical farms, the digital revolution in agriculture is helping us grow more food with fewer resources and lower impact. This is not just about innovation, it's about survival. In a world with rising populations, shrinking land, and changing climates, tech-enabled sustainable farming is no longer optional, it's essential. organic farming and natural systems. When people hear the word organic, they often think of a label on food at the grocery store. But organic farming is much more than that. It's a philosophy, a way of working with nature rather than against it. In this scene, we're going to explore how organic farming fits into the larger framework of sustainable agriculture. We'll look at what it really means, how it works, and why it's essential to building a resilient, healthy food system for the future. What is organic farming? At its core, organic farming avoids synthetic chemicals, no synthetic fertilizers, no synthetic pesticides, and no genetically modified organisms, GMOs. Instead, it focuses on natural inputs and biological processes to maintain soil fertility, manage pests, and grow healthy crops. Organic farming is built on 4 key principles defined by IFOAM, International Federation of Organic Agriculture Movements. Health, sustaining the health of soil, plants, animals, humans, and the planet. Ecology, working with living systems and cycles. Fairness, ensuring equity, respect, and justice for all involved in the farming process. Care, managing farms responsibly and sustainably for future generations. But let's be clear. Organic farming is not about going backward to primitive techniques. It's about using modern knowledge to support ancient wisdom, combining science with ecology to produce food that's good for people and the planet. Techniques used in organic farming. Organic farmers rely on a holistic set of practices that keep the farm ecosystem balanced. Here are some of the most important. Crop rotation. Instead of planting the same crop year after year, organic farms rotate crops to prevent nutrient depletion and break pest and disease cycles. Cover cropping. Farmers plant legumes or grasses during off-seasons to cover the soil, reduce erosion, fix nitrogen, and suppress weeds. Composting and manure. Rather than using chemical fertilizers, organic farmers recycle nutrients using compost, green manure, and animal manure. This builds soil fertility naturally over time. Biological pest control. Instead of spraying synthetic pesticides, farmers introduce natural predators, like ladybugs for aphids, or use traps and pheromones to manage pests. Mulching. Using organic mulch, like straw or leaves, helps retain soil moisture, prevent weed growth, and add organic matter back to the soil. Intercropping. Growing different crops in close proximity can deter pests and improve nutrient uptake while maximizing the use of space. Each of these techniques mirrors natural ecological systems, where nothing is wasted, and everything plays a role. Africa emoji, case study, organic rice in the Philippines. In the Philippines, a region known for conventional rice farming, a growing number of farmers are switching to organic rice cultivation. By using compost, vermiculture, worm farming, and natural pest repellents made from garlic and chili, farmers are reducing costs and improving soil health. Farmers involved in the Masipag network, a Filipino farmer-led NGO, have reported a reduction in pesticide-related health issues, improved yields over the long term, greater food security by growing multiple crops. And since organic rice often fetches a higher market price, these farmers are also seeing better income. Scientific insights, organic versus conventional. You might be wondering, does organic farming really work at scale? According to a long-term study by the Rodale Institute in the US, organic systems can produce comparable yields to conventional farms, especially during drought years, where organic soil retains more water. The study also found 15 to 20% lower energy use in organic systems, 30% more soil carbon stored, greater biodiversity in soil microbes, insects, and birds. Other research has shown that organic produce often contains higher antioxidant levels and fewer pesticide residues. While not always more nutrient-dense, the health and environmental benefits are substantial. Challenges of organic farming. Now, it's important to recognize that organic farming isn't without its challenges. Yields can be lower during the transition period, usually 2 to 3 years, as the soil recovers from chemical dependency. Organic certification can be costly and bureaucratic, especially for smallholders in the global south. Weed and pest management require more manual labor and time. Market access isn't always fair, especially when large corporations dominate the organic sector. That's why many small farmers practice what's called organic by default. They use no chemicals simply because they can't afford them, but they're not certified due to lack of support. Supporting local and transparent food systems is one way to bridge this gap and ensure that small-scale organic growers benefit fairly. Organic and sustainable, not mutually exclusive. It's important to understand that not all sustainable farms are certified organic, and not all organic farms are perfectly sustainable. The goal isn't to draw hard lines but to learn from organic principles, focusing on soil health, biodiversity, natural pest management, and ethical practices, regardless of certification. In many places, agroecology combines the best of organic and traditional knowledge with modern science to create food systems that are regenerative, resilient, and rooted in local context. In summary, organic farming is more than a label, it's a movement rooted in respect for nature, community well-being, and long-term resilience. By mimicking natural systems, rejecting synthetic shortcuts, and embracing biodiversity, organic farmers are showing us a better way to feed the world, not with chemicals, but with care. Coming up next, we'll explore C8, social equity and community resilience in agriculture, because a sustainable food system is not just about the environment, but also about the people who grow our food. Social equity and community resilience in agriculture. When we talk about sustainable agriculture, we often focus on soil, water, and climate. But there's another critical piece of the puzzle: people. After all, farming isn't just about land. It's about livelihoods, families, and entire communities. In this scene, we're diving into the social side of sustainability, why fairness, inclusion, and community resilience are just as important as ecological health when building a food system that truly works for everyone. Farmer emoji. What is social equity in agriculture? Social equity means that everyone, regardless of race, gender, income, or geography, has access to the resources, opportunities, and support they need to farm successfully and live with dignity. It's about fair wages, safe working conditions, land access, and community empowerment. Sustainable agriculture can't thrive in a world where farm workers are exploited, where women are denied land rights, or where smallholders are trapped in cycles of debt and poverty. True sustainability only happens when people are valued just as much as profits or yields. Women and youth in farming. Women make up nearly half the world's agricultural workforce, yet they face disproportionate barriers, less access to land, credit, training, and decision-making power. Programs in countries like India, Kenya, and Nepal are working to close this gap by offering microloans, leadership training, and agricultural extension services tailored specifically for women. Research shows that empowering women in agriculture could boost yields by 20 to 30% and significantly reduce global hunger. Youth, too, are vital. In many rural areas, young people are leaving farms because they see no future in agriculture. But initiatives that teach digital farming, entrepreneurship, and climate-smart techniques are bringing new hope. Programs like 4-H in the US, Young Farmers Clubs in Africa, and AgriHack in Latin America are helping young people see farming as a path to prosperity, not poverty. In the next scene, we'll explore how cities, yes, cities, are becoming a big part of the sustainable agriculture movement through vertical farms, rooftop gardens, and urban food systems. Stay tuned for Scene 9, Urban Farming and the City Food Revolution. And that brings us to the end of this episode of The Soil Story. Today, we dug deep into the science, the challenges, and the hope behind sustainable agriculture. From living soils and smarter water use to fair systems and high-tech tools, one thing is clear: the way we farm today will shape the future we all live in tomorrow. But here's what's powerful: this isn't just a job for scientists, or farmers, or policymakers. Whether you're growing food in a field or in a flower pot, shopping at your local market, or just asking better questions, you are part of the solution. Sustainable agriculture isn't just about saving the planet. It's about rethinking how we live, eat, and connect with the land. It's about choosing systems that heal rather than harm. And the soil? It's not just dirt. It's where that future begins. So keep learning. Keep experimenting. Keep asking questions. And keep growing, not just crops, but knowledge, awareness, and action. If this video sparked something for you, let us know in the comments. Like, share, and hit that subscribe button, because here on The Soil Story, we've got so much more to uncover. Until next time, stay grounded, stay growing, and remember, the answers are always right beneath your feet.